Welcome back. So this is Jerry and the Goddesses, Part 7. There are no real trigger warnings for this part. Here we go. I didn't leave the library until 11:15 when the librarian finally chased me out using the threat of a CIA black site to properly motivate me to leave. You know we can't actually do that, right? Sarissa asked. I gave her a little smile. Aren't the black sites used for interrogations, not punishing wayward new hires? Well, Sarissa said, not just interrogations, but you probably don't want to know what else they do there. Unless it has something to do with aliens, I suspect you're right. I started to give her a little smile, but stopped when I saw the wide-eyed look on her face. Wait, are there aliens there? I asked, suddenly excited. I mean, Sarissa is the goddess of knowledge and learning, so if anyone would know. She burst out laughing. No, but I had you going there for a second. I groaned, but I didn't complain. I mean, honestly, it's a lot easier to spend time with Sarissa than with Anana. Maybe not quite as much fun in the moment, but certainly a lot easier, especially when I had studying to do. I placed my stack of photocopies on the roof of my car and dug my keys out. I had just put the key in the door when I heard it. It sounded like my stomach was rumbling with hunger, but I didn't feel anything, and I'd eaten a sandwich just half an hour earlier. One of the reasons why the librarian wanted me gone, I suspect. I looked around and I didn't see anything. One of the lights in the parking lot was out, but other than that, everything looked exactly the way I expected it to. I finished unlocking the car and then I heard it again. Sarissa, do you hear that? Yes, I do. I looked around again. The shadows under the broken light looked a little too dark except for a tiny, twinkling blue spark that just seemed to float there. I felt tendrils of fear creeping up my spine. Do you know what it is? No. I looked at her in shock. By definition, she knew everything, or at least everything that anyone else knew, like ever. But the look on her face was curiosity and a little bit of concern. Oh, crap. When a literal goddess looks concerned, then a mere mortal like me had better be terrified. I did that. Got terrified, I mean, like really bad. I fumbled for the door and got it open. I think we should go now, Sarissa. Like now. She ignored me and walked towards the dark patch. I heard her mumbling to herself, is that? No. And then a nightmare boiled forth. It had legs, way too many of them, and arms and tentacles and fangs. Dear God, did it ever have fangs. It had fangs that weren't even in mouths. I screamed with fright and froze solid as the thing bowled Sarissa over and bounded towards me. It was huge, bigger than my car. I pissed myself when it knocked me down and squeezed my eyes shut, praying for a quick death. I felt hot breath as the thing moved one of its mouths down, and then I smelled its foul breath. If rot and hate and despair were all mixed together and boiled in a base of diarrhea and vomit, and then had a dead skunk dipped in it and left out on the road to decay for a few days, it would smell about half as bad as this breath. I vomited almost immediately, somehow managing to keep screaming throughout. He likes you, I heard Sarissa say in a delighted voice that was followed by a girlish giggle. I gagged and tried to speak, but only dry heaved. I heard her voice again, closer this time, speaking in babyish tones. Oh, does he like Joey? Is Joey his new friend? Oh, what a friendly boy he is. I caught a glimpse of her around the cacophony of tentacles, spider legs, and slavering fangs, and I could see that she was scratching the thing enthusiastically. Another gurgling roar issued from the beast, and several of the legs began to twitch. I carefully extracted myself from underneath the nightmare. Sarissa, oh my God, what is this thing? This, she said, turning to scratch a different part, which caused it to redouble its wiggling, is Ixlablavel. Did you just vomit? I asked. I wouldn't blame her. No, silly. Ixlublavel. That's his name. What? I asked. His name, silly. He's a primordial, one of the gods of the ancestors of humans, before they had fully human brains. As such, he's not very smart, but he seems to like you. I mean, he brought you a gift after all. A what? A gift, look. She bent down, and when she straightened up, she was holding a twinkling, blue glowing orb. I said, because my loquaciousness knows no bounds. Eventually, I managed to form words out of my confusion. What is it? It's a soul. Let's see. She peered closely at it, then recoiled and made a disgusting face. Ugh, it's a Portuguese serial rapist from the 18th century. I shuddered. Okay, well, I don't know what to do with that. Honestly, you could eat it. That would probably make Anana happy for a while, she said, her face still twisted. Ew, I don't want to eat the soul of an 18th century serial rapist. Can Axolotl here put it back where he found it? No, silly, this is one of his souls. He gets the souls of people whose lives were defined by their base desires, who just followed their instincts and didn't give a hoot for anyone else. He's offering you a sacrifice, sort of. Can I turn it down? She gave me a level look. He'll probably get mad if you do. Okay, yeah, let's not make the primordial nightmare primitive animal god mad. Okay, so I guess I'll take it then. I reached out and Sarissa handed the orb over. It felt disgusting, slippery and sticky and rough all at the same time, and it was just a few degrees below the air temperature. Eck. Now pet him. Do I have to? I would. Okay, Jerry, you can do this. I tentatively reached out a hand to the black, slimy-looking hide and touched it gently. It felt wrong. Not like a sense of wrongness, but like rough and soft. It's hard to explain, but it wasn't unpleasant. I worked up my nerve and petted a little harder. It was warm, soft fur. The softest fur I'd ever felt, honestly. Emboldened, I petted more, and at a certain joint of tentacle and leg, it pushed against me, so I scratched. The leg started shaking. There you go, Sarissa laughed. Well, this is a surprise, she said. I guess all that rutting with Anana woke him up. I mean, sex is pretty primal after all. I wasn't trying to, I said. I know, but of all the elder gods to have awoken, Ixtlablatl is really the best choice. He's like a puppy if he likes you. And if he doesn't? Eldritch Abomination, she said. He kind of looks like an Eldritch Abomination now. Doesn't feel like one, though. Well, he's your friend now. He's going to be your friend for the rest of your life, so you might as well get used to it. I petted and scratched for a few more minutes. Eventually, I realized that I still needed to sleep that night, and if we didn't get home soon, Anana will keep me up all night. We have to go. Can he keep up with us? He'll shrink down once you get in the car. I shrugged, opened my door, then opened the rear door and climbed in. Ixtlablatl began to shrink as I watched. To my surprise, instead of shrinking to the size of a large dog and climbing in the back, he shrunk to the size of a kitten and hopped up on my lap. Sarissa giggled and gave him a scratch with one finger before closing the rear door for me and walking around to the passenger seat to climb in. I tossed the ugly soul in the back seat and started the engine. Look, I know I seem awfully cavalier about this, having transitioned from gibbering terror to resigned acceptance in just a few minutes, but you have to understand what my life's been like the past few years. Gibbering terror and resigned acceptance were par for the course. I mean, this was just Tuesday, honestly. I really wished I could get over the terror thing, though. My wet underwear was really uncomfortable. As we drove, I looked over to Sarissa. Tell me one thing, I said. What's that? Is there anything we can do about his breath? The end.